as Patriot fans, I got a question for you guys. Is this culture that Belichick's built, is it starting to erode?
Is it starting to what?
Road.
Erode. Do you think
End?
it's starting to fizzle? The
No,
Patriots, the culture, the
no,
scheme, the style,
no,
all of it.
no. And I'll just say, I mean, listen, you guys heard did you guys hear the clip of when Mac Jones got drafted and he was walking out, what he said to Roger Goodell? When they do the dap up and the hug? You guys didn't hear what Mac Jones said?
Spill it.
He said, "Don't tell anybody, but this is where I wanted to go." And there's one reason why he wanted to come here, and that's because he knows the winning culture. Bill Belichick sets a culture. I mean, all the Patriots, former Patriots players talk about it. Minus who me and Justin both agree on. Thank God we agree on this. Asante Samuel, bye bye, boy. All right, you're the one who dropped that interception against Eli Manning in the '08 Super Bowl. So why don't you realize that before you start talking crap on Bill Belichick and all this stuff? That guy was talking crazy.
The
But
one interception that would have actually counted.
yeah, exactly. But he,
John, John, to answer your question about it eroding, I actually feel like an even better word. It's evolving. I don't think it's this is a new system, new quarterback under center. This isn't Tom Brady's team anymore. We're very different. We're very different. Like I said, this is going to be a new look Patriots offense. This is a different team, and we got a lot to be excited about. We're not going to be as boring.
and I will say this. I will say this in Justin's words, the evolving. I remember I watched the documentary of Saban and Belichick. I forget what it's called, but I think it was on HBO Max. It was awesome. Just to see those two freaking brilliant football minds sitting in a room together talking football is just you're like, holy crap, you know what I mean? And Bill was basically talking to him, saying like, "Yo, the NFL football is changing." You know what I mean? It used to be clock management, run the ball, play defense. Now it's get the weapons on the outside, score points, put points up on the board. And I think Belichick has tried to do that. I mean, that's what he tried to do a couple years ago when he spent that all that money in the free agency.
Why?
Um,
I didn't understand half of those moves.
yeah, so the Nelson Aguilar move still pisses me off because it's just like, well, I don't. But what are you gonna
Bourne was
do?
pretty good.
Huh?
The two tight end Bourne was pretty good, but the two tight ends are
Yeah,
not actually going to use two tight ends. I don't understand that.
yeah.
And
They
you spent
did. They
all
used
that
Johnu
money
Smith
for
more as like a receiver, tight end, fullback, running back hybrid, and it didn't like. I just wanted them to dumb it down, and I hear this saying all the time when I listen to a radio show on Sirius XM. This guy says, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. All right. Sometimes it's just the simple, the less is more is not always better. Less is better in a lot of walks of life. I just wish that they would have implemented that two tight end set that they implemented a decade ago, and just do that more. Like it was just too much of like gadget plays and like it's just too much. I think it is going to be dumbed down. I think Mac Jones is going to take a step forward. I don't see this Patriots culture ending. I mean, the Patriot way is still full and well. I mean, it's still planted right there. They all talk about the former Patriots players right there when you walk in. Do your job. I forget what the rest of it says, but it's basically do your job. Show up on time, prepared. You know, execute what is asked of you, and that's what these Patriots players do. That and Mac Jones is a prototypical Patriots player. I think we can all agree on that, and I think he's going to be perfectly fine in this offense.
the reason why I asked that is because last year was a super successful season, but I couldn't help but watch that throttling in the playoffs and say this team's on the same level as the Bills. And quite honestly, I felt like the Bills obviously passed them because of the quarterback and the team around him. But I said there comes a certain point in time when you don't have Tom Brady, and these teams do have that high end star power. With the game constantly evolving, you said, Justin, that this scheme and the organization is evolving. But I said to myself, there may just come a certain point in time where it peaked and it hit a high note. And when I said eroding, what I really meant is it's obviously not as dominant or effective as it was a Tom Brady, but I look at these other teams that do have the superstar quarterbacks and the game changing receivers. the Patriots should stick with the undrafted receivers because it's worked pretty well with Myers and Bourne they brought in. Maybe it doesn't build too well for Tyquan Thornton, though I think he's a fun prospect. But the point being, I say Mac Jones is good. Is he ever going to be, more than, the 10th or 12th best quarterback? I don't see that in this NFL. I feel like, quite frankly, when I watched that Bills playoff game, I said, damn, it doesn't feel the same as it used
See
to.
that Bills that game will lie to you a little bit because listen, I watched. It was a hard game to watch, but I think it was really the first quarter that I was really excited for because then it kind of the momentum just completely shifted. And I remember the exact play of when it shifted. I mean, we were driving, and Justin probably knows this well. We were driving really well. Mac Jones throws a beautiful, and I mean a beautiful deep bomb down the left side of the field towards the end zone. And I think it was Micah Hyde, the safety, just made it. I mean, it was a great throw, but it was better defense. It's like one of those things. He just made an absolute insanely nasty play on the ball, intercepted it, and that just I think that literally tore the heart out of that Patriots team because I think if 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 that ball is completed and it's a touchdown, I think the game goes completely differently because I think the momentum shifts towards New England. But I think right there, the shift towards Buffalo, the momentum just shifted. And I think momentum is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's a real thing. When it starts driving and you start questioning yourself and you're like, wait, oh crap, what's going on? We were just up 17-3, and now it's 17-17 tie game and they got the ball. Like what's happening right now? It's a real thing. And I it's going to be an interesting matchup this year with Buffalo and New England. I'm not a believer in Josh Allen. Let's just say that. I don't believe in Josh Allen. You guys know this. This is not a surprise for you. You guys know that I'm not a believer. Don't act like that towards me when Josh Allen done nothing in this league.
Hello, what did you just do to Bill Belichick and your Patriots, bud?
Huh?
You watch that game, and your takeaway after watching Josh Allen throw 5 touchdown passes,
Yeah, the
and
defense didn't show
watching
up.
him. Yeah, but you think Patrick Mahomes is him, and he just went toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes like it was nothing. And oh, by the way, it was his 4th year in the NFL. He is,
He
by the way, he
lost.
was drafted the same year as Baker Mayfield.
He
And if you're
lost.
all in on Baker Mayfield, and you're okay, well, the reason he lost, he didn't get the ball at the end. If he did, he would have certainly won that game because that Chiefs defense was one of the best in the NFL in the season, and it didn't mean nothing to him. Same way it did against that Patriots defense. The fact of the matter is, man, if you're a Baker believer, and so what are you getting at here?
Josh Allen's the
What
best quarterback in
gives?
football.